You don't need mystical powers or years of study to read tarot. What you need is already within you. If you've ever shuffled your tarot deck and you're looking at all of the cards and you feel very overwhelmed, or you're reading the guidebook that comes with the tarot deck and just feel like it's all too much to memorize, you're definitely not alone. Then this video is for you to help guide you to harness the power of tarot without needing to memorize all the little details right now. For those of you who are new here to this channel, my name is Will and this is the Esoteric Cross. I make videos about how to gain your personal power while learning ancient secrets, and if that sounds like something that you're into, please hit the like button and subscribe and gain insight from this perspective in the cosmos. Every tarot card is a doorway, and every tarot spread is like a map. And it's not about trying to force things where they don't belong. It's about remembering the way to a destination. When a lot of people get into tarot, they use it for a form of divination. And divination is kind of like a way of predicting the future, but I like to look at tarot as a way to get deeper insights into the self and the world around us. You can absolutely use tarot as a form of divination, but to understand the deep, rich history and symbolism of these cards, you've got to know that it goes deeper than that. So let's talk about exactly what intuition is for a second. Intuition is kind of like this deep inner knowing. It has to do with the connection into the subconscious mind, and it has to do with the connection and the link into the all, the oneness of the universe. So I like to think of the universe as this one consciousness, and it has this source and this root. It is limitless, and it is truly us behind the personality, the ego, and all of these things that we think make us who we are. But we've got to go deeper than the surface layer of the self in order to understand exactly what this intuition is, and what is it that the universe, God, divinity, is trying to tell us. We can use tarot cards, we can use tea leaves, we can watch the clouds roll by in the sky, we can examine our dreams. There are so many ways that we can pull out different meanings and look for hidden layers within so many different things within life. I think tarot is so powerful because they were designed by people who were within occultism, who were practicing along the path of ceremonial magic. Arthur Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith designed these cards, and they were a part of the Order of the Golden Dawn, which practiced ceremonial magic. And the whole goal of this is not just about manifestation, but it's also related to self-actualization, it's related to alchemy, and doing work on the self. Getting a deeper connection with your intuition. You've got to trust what you see and feel, and not just rely on logic. Logic does play an important role when it comes to tarot, like having a deep understanding and knowledge of the cards is powerful, but it's not necessary to get started, and it can be overwhelming to try to accumulate all of this knowledge very quickly when you first get started reading tarot. So developing intuition is going to be key for the beginning stages of reading tarot. When you take a look at tarot cards, you've got to trust what you see and how they make you feel. You might have a different association to some of these images than other people do. For the basic meaning of these tarot cards will be kind of the same across the board, but for you, it might invoke certain feelings and it might bring other images to the mind that might be specific to you, and that's going to be something for you to explore. Again, I'm going to say, trust what you see and trust what you feel while you are examining these tarot cards. It might be helpful to take a look at these cards when you first wake up in the morning and right before you fall asleep at night. Our mind is kind of in this stage in between being awake and asleep, and this is a great time where we can make these impressions on our subconscious mind, and it's also a great time where we can bring things to the surface, which is ultimately what we are doing when we are reading tarot. That is what the intuitive link does, is it connects the conscious mind into the subconscious and all of the layers beneath within the collective unconscious, connecting us to the source of all. There are a vast amount of information and data within this place, and this is kind of like what we are pulling up to the surface as we are doing any form of divination. When you're reading tarot, you're going to be connecting to your inner self and what it is that you truly think and feel about certain situations and images. So this is going to take a great deal of inner work while you're getting started in your journey into tarot or any kind of form of occultism. So I have 3 main tips for you. They are meditation, contemplation, and relation. Meditation is one thing where you can just sit and do nothing. whether this is for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. But you should have some sort of meditation on a daily basis because you want to start detaching the consciousness from the mind, because these are two separate things. Start to be the awareness, the observer of the self and the mind, and start to detach these things and realize that the mind will keep moving and doing what it does because it is a tool and a mechanism of the body. It's a part of being human. The consciousness, on the other hand, will start to create deeper links into the subconscious and the collective when you keep doing this. It can bring about a feeling of inner peace and joy and harmony within life. There are so many benefits to meditation, but it can definitely help you when it comes to your journey within tarot. The next tip is going to be contemplation. So you need to take time and contemplate the cards. So when you take a look at the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, you're taking a look at these aspects of the self. I want you to view these cards kind of like they are archetypes. What part of you is the Empress? What part of you is the High Priestess? What part of you is the Emperor? You might even notice the relationship between masculine and feminine, and we'll get into that in a second. But definitely take your time with contemplating these different images and the symbolism within the images. And that goes right into relation. So how do you relate these cards to yourself? And how do these images represent other people within your life? Because if you relate a card to a person, then you're getting a deeper insight into the card and the person that you're dealing with. I remember when I was first trying to read court cards, and what I did, which really helped me out a lot, was relating different court cards to different people within my life. They usually say that a page represents somebody who is young, a knight represents somebody who is young, usually a man under the age of 25. A queen usually represents a mature woman over the age of 25, and a king can represent a man in your life who is over the age of 25. My feelings about this have definitely changed since I first started reading tarot, but what I did was I related these cards to people within my life who I felt represented that energy. For example, I might have had a friend's mom who seemed to embody the fire energy, the spirituality and creativity, and who was really in touch with this forceful energy. So for me, she represented the Queen of Wands. This association didn't last very long as I got deeper into the true meanings of the cards and how they represent these esoteric ideas, but this was helpful for me in the beginning to develop some sort of relationship to the cards. I also want to say that I do have a beginning course within tarot. It's a live course, it's 4 classes, it takes about a week. And if that's something that's interesting to you and you want to get started with reading the basics of tarot, check out the link in the description below to sign up. I'm so excited to be holding these courses for beginners, but I also offer other courses like getting deeper into tarot and its relationship with Qabalah, as well as a separate course on Qabalah. Free association is going to be another big thing that's going to be helpful for you. So let me explain exactly what free association is. This is going to be a part of contemplation. The process will look like this. You take a look at a card, you kind of meditate on it for a second, fix your gaze on the outline of the card, and just sit with it for a moment. Then your attention might be drawn to a specific color, symbol, or figure within the card. And then I want you to start to get curious. Ask the question, what exactly does the symbol mean? What does it represent? What is it used for? What does it do? Why is it here? How does it relate to other symbols within the card? How does it relate to the name of the card or the meaning of the card? How does it make you feel? Then you might associate this with another idea or archetypal symbol, and it might be related to another one and another one. And it's kind of like creating this chain within consciousness. What will happen is your mind will start to form an answer and an understanding around the symbol and the archetypal idea of the card. This is extremely powerful. You will come to some sort of conclusion about the meaning of the card, and it's going to be related to how you piece together things within your mind and also how you relate to it. So this is working on meditation, contemplation, and relation. So let's walk through this for a second with an example. Take a look at the Chariot. Fix your gaze on the outline of the card. Take a deep breath and just stare at the card for a second. Be with the Chariot. Be with the card. Don't look at anything specific within the card at this moment. Just fix your gaze on the outline. You may pause the video and just wait until something in the image really pops out at you. Once you unpause the video and you are back, Let's talk about some things that could possibly pop out in the image. It could be the block of cement or concrete, the throne, the chariot itself. It could be the sphinxes. It could be the colors white and black. It could be the yellow sky. It could be the water. It could be the moon crescents on the shoulders. It could be the fact that the figure is cemented into the block, into the chariot. So now we can ask ourselves some questions and start to piece together some things. We're going to question the meanings and the context till we arrive to some sort of conclusion. What does the block represent? And being cemented into it. Well, the block is a symbol for earth, its form. If we were to look at a square, it has 4 corners, which are representing the 4 elements: earth, air, water, and fire. This is about form creation. A cube is representing actual manifestation. What is stable, what is real, tangible, 3-dimensional. Now, the figure in the card can be representing emotional energy, as of course we see the moon. What does the moon represent? It represents emotional energy. The card is also ruled by Cancer, but you don't have to know astrology to get into this in the beginning. But I will say that Cancer rules over the home, emotions, even a mother figure as well. So this can be the emotional spirit being cemented into form. It's a little bit more than that because the chariot can also represent the face, the mask, the ego mask. It is creating a personality for the self, and it is cementing it within form and maybe even identifying with the self mask, the personality. So with it being cemented, we can get curious about exactly why and what does that mean. It could mean that we are stuck in our ways. Also, how do we move the chariot forward if we are stuck in the cement? It's a really good question. You have to move it forward with something else other than your physical body. We have to create some sort of motivation, momentum, charge, a wave. Notice even the water that's in the background. What would it feel like to be cemented into a block? Would we feel stuck? Would we feel stable? Would we feel strong? Would we feel weak? Does this give us problems? Does it give us strengths? And relating it to the water in the moon and how the moon affects water here on Earth, what does this mean with the subconscious and the emotions? Water is a common symbol for the subconscious as well as emotions. So we've got to use the power of that water because you notice that the wheels are within the water, and this is what is going to move the chariot forward. It's going to have to do with something within our feelings. So you want to take some time with this and develop your relationship with the card. The chariot can represent movement and of course the home life with that relation to Cancer. The chariot being movement is going to represent some sort of action. Now we've got to start relating cards to each other when we do readings. You can draw a few cards while you are watching this video, and I want you to take a look at the figures that are within the card. Are they masculine or feminine? Or is it unclear? We see masculine and feminine come up a lot within tarot, and it doesn't necessarily mean male or female. What it represents is internal and external, active and passive. We're either taking action with the card or there's going to be some sort of internal cultivation. It's not always going to be represented by male and female within the cards, but that is one way that you can look at it, at least at first. Feminine is going to be growing, cultivating. It's going to be creating some sort of understanding, piecing together the story, creating form, internalizing something. Masculine is going to be representing some sort of action, going outwards, doing some sort of work, creating skill. It might be related to ideas and utilizing skill. Cards that are more neutral, they might have both a masculine, feminine, and a child. They might just be a child within the card. These are going to be representing a balance, a harmony, some sort of awareness or truth, and very well could possibly represent a rising up in consciousness. Now, we also have 2 main types of cards. We have the Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana. The Major Arcana are the cards labeled from 0 to 21. The Minor Arcana includes the 4 suits, the Wands, the Cups, the Swords, the Pentacles, and also those Court cards. The Major Arcana cards are going to be the big parts of the journey of initiation, its consciousness. You could think of it as going through the stages of life. There are actually many, many different ways you could look at this. I would recommend observing the major arcana going from 0 to 21 and asking yourself, what is the story within consciousness? As we start out with a Fool, we have a lack of understanding. We're not thinking about the future or the past. The Magician is going to be trying out experiments, cultivating something within, wisdom with the High Priestess, growing manifestation with the Empress, and organizing it with the Emperor. The process keeps going all the way up to the World, where we have some sort of final knowledge that is fully embodied and balanced. So here's what I would do. If you're trying to get familiar with the tarot cards, take out all of the major arcana cards, order them from 0 to 21. Take out all of the wands labeled Ace through 10, all of the cups labeled Ace through 10, swords Ace through 10, and pentacles Ace through 10. Take out all of the court cards and separate them into each different suit. The court cards will be internal, external, as pages are youthful energy, trying to understand the element, and having an internal love or inspiration from that element. The knights taking some sort of action. The queens are more mature, developing an internal understanding from the action taken from the knight. And the kings are representing the wisdom, something that is external and can be applied. Learning to read tarot is extremely powerful because you can get deeper insights into the self and cultivate more knowledge within the self. I hope this video was helpful in empowering you to start your journey within tarot and grow your knowledge of this powerful tradition. Don't worry about getting it all right at first. Just take your time getting familiar with the cards. Trust what you see, trust what you feel, and answers will come. After all, this is about unlocking the secret truths that are already within. Check out the links in the description below to see the courses that I offer, like that beginning course on tarot. These are live 4 classes for 1 week, and I'm so excited to see you there. I'll also have a link in the description for my tarot readings. I do offer private readings a few times a week, and I'll leave the link to my Patreon for live streams as well. And I hope that there was something new that you were able to take away from this video. If so, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.